Hey, what's up guys? It's Matt. I just started a random experiment last night. What I have here is a 1 gallon bucket that is covered with window screen and secured with a little bit of rope. So what's going on the inside is I soaked peat moss, coffee, garden lime, and a little bit of cardboard and water and drained it off. So it's pretty wet, and I put 25 well-developed breeding-sized European night crawlers in it. I'm going to put this bin underneath a table, actually right over there where I make my rope halters. I'm going to put it on that shelf where it stays pretty dark. Leave it covered like this so it's get airflow. I will squirt it down with the mister every couple of days. What I'm doing is seeing if I can, it's kind of like the paleo experiment, see if I can just introduce a lot of worms into a lot of food and let them sit and see what happens. It'll be interesting either way. I don't think it'll kill them because there's enough food in there to last them a month. So we'll check in on it in a month and see how it's doing. All right, bye. So it's now the 5th of December, and I have filled this little 1 gallon bucket up with an apple and topped the rest of it off with leaves. It was filled up to right there on the 3rd with everything I put in there initially. Now it's about half full of leaves and everything, so we'll see what happens. Okay, so I've got my bucket that I started up on 3 December. I'm about to dump it out and see what's going on in here. It had 25 adult worm, breeder-sized worms in it. A bunch of peat moss in it. So just dumping it out right off the rip. A lot of it's clumped together. You can't see much. There's the apple with worms. What's interesting is everything looks like it's alive and healthy in here. That's cool. It's really compacted though. All I'm doing is kind of aerating this. It feels, the moisture's not bad. There's a little bitty worm. I'm not sure how it got in here. But, you know, I don't know. So as you can see, I'm finding the worms in here. I'm just flipping this up to get it not compacted, then I'm going to put it all back in and let it sit for another 2 weeks. This is not a high quality video. I'm just seeing if worms can live in a bucket with not great conditions. There's a cocoon. So they are laying eggs in here, as you can see. I saw another cocoon right through here. So what is interesting to me about this is, looks like I haven't found a dead worm, but that's not saying much. All the worms are alive that I've seen. I found cocoons. I found a little worm. I don't know how it got in there. Let's look at this stuff here. This was leaves that I raked up in the yard. The worms are up in it too. Huh, interesting. So I put this in there on December 3rd, and today is December 23rd. So it's been 20 days. Everything looks fine. The worms look fine, healthy. They're laying cocoons in here. And there's a baby worm that I don't think it's been in there long enough to hatch out from a cocoon, so I'm not saying that's what's going on here, but look, right there is another cocoon. Interesting. Let me put that guy back in there. Put back where he came from. So just like the cocoon only bins, I mean, everything I read said worms will adapt quickly to the habitat that they were born into, and the worms in this bucket are going to be born in this bucket. What I'm going to do now is, these leaves are real dry, so I'm going to squirt them down with some water and let it filter down through the system and wrap it back up, and we'll check on it in another month. All right then.